Today I'm going to make some Belgian buns and I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. So first things first, you want to gently warm up 300 mils of milk with 40 grams of butter. I say gently, you don't want to burn the milk, that will ruin the taste of it. And the aim of this is just to melt the butter into the milk. It doesn't need to be piping hot. And then in this bowl here, I've got 500 grams of strong white bread flour, 3 tablespoons of caster sugar, and on the other side of the bowl, so keep the sugar and the yeast separate, 7 grams of quick instant yeast that you would get in a sachet. So it's 1 sachet or 7 grams. And I'm going to use my mixer today. You can do this by hand. I'm going to do a little bit by hand in a minute. And basically, you want the milk to be almost lukewarm, no more than that really. You don't want the yeast to die. Yeast is quite a, you don't want to warm it up too much. You know what it's like when you get hot and you can't be bothered to do anything, you just want to lie there. That's what your yeast will do if your milk is too hot. So my milk and butter is kind of cool enough now. I'd be happy to stick a baby in it. I don't know what temperature a baby's bath needs, but it wouldn't burn. So that's my gauge. So what you want to do is just chuck it in. Chuck it in. And then, as well as that, we're going to add an egg. So just crack an egg in. And if you are doing this all by hand, just give it a good mix until it's a point of a dough, and then you can put it out on a lightly floured surface. If you've got a mixer, put your dough hook on. You need to turn it on. And just let that go on a low setting for about 5 minutes, at which point we are going to need for the final 5 minutes. Okay, so I've had 5 minutes in the mixer now. I'm going to get it out of this bowl onto a very lightly floured surface. You shouldn't be using too much flour because it will just go straight into the dough and it will just make a really heavy bun. And then this is something you can do with, sorry, I'm going to get down really low. This is something just casually just kneading my dough. A really good thing you can do, I'm just gonna do it like this. Take your heel, push it out, and then bring it back in. So you just want to bring it back. You're just stretching out that flour and giving the dough a nice stretch. And it shouldn't, I mean, I might need a bit more flour, but it's all part of it. Just play around with it. Get your kids involved if you're doing this with kids. And the dough, we just want to get it to a point where it's nice and smooth. And you can work out any frustrations. You can give it a good whack, which is fun. I'm just going to put a little bit more flour down actually. Okay. So I like to just, get out some frustrations at life. Just give it all. Let's move the phone. It's vigorous. Just give it a good whack it in. Just, I need to sort my phone out. Yeah, get it. Sorry. Okay, we'll just go back to normal, that's fine. But yeah, just for about 5 minutes, just to get it nice and smooth. Put those PE classes with Joe Wicks to work. Get the guns involved, guys. Sorry, I feel like I'm a bit more mental this week. No idea why. This is just how I am at the moment. So go with it, because I am. Okay. So I'm just going to bring this up here, so you can see it's a lot smoother now. it's looking, I mean, it's quite nice. So what we're going to do, you can use a clean bowl. It would be a chefier thing to do. I'm not going to do that because I can't be bothered. So I'm just going to take a bit of oil and just run it around the bowl that I've done the dough in. And then we're going to take our dough, drop it in, and cover that up with cling film. I put mine in a plastic bag, and then you want to leave it somewhere warmish. It's probably fine in your kitchen because it's really hot this week. I tend to put mine in the airing cupboard, but I might just leave it out here because it's warm enough. And it might take up to 2 hours. Just keep an eye on it until it's kind of doubled in size, and that's what we need to look out for. So we're gonna lightly dust some flour, and then let's get this bad boy out of the bowl. It should come out quite easily because you've oiled it, so just remember that. And there's some lovely little air bubbles in there, which is exciting. Just, you can give it a punch. I feel quite aggressive today. Just give it a little bit of a zhuzh. And then what I'm trying to stand that you can see me. Put down a bit more flour, and then we're gonna roll it out to kind of a big rectangle. And this is what we're gonna do in order to get the filling. This takes a bit of patience, guys, because the nature of a dough is it's gonna wanna spring straight back. It's just gonna take a little bit of work to get it where we need to. So just be patient with it and keep on rolling. It's a message for our times. Keep on rolling. And what you can do to stop it stretching back anymore is you just take the edge of this and just kind of smash it into the work surface. So just tack it down like that, just in a couple of the corners, and then it won't move. Okay. Then what we need to do, you need 4 tablespoons of lemon curd and 150 grams of sultanas. And you're just going to spread that lemon curd all out and then sprinkle over all of the sultanas. So that's all spread over the dough. What we need to do now is roll it up. So you've got your bit that got your pieces that are tacked down. So just release those off the work surface. And then I just pull a little bit in order to then start a nice little roll, and do that all the way along. And then you can just keep gently going with it until we've got a nice long, see, now we're getting some momentum on this. Just keep rolling. Just keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Okay, just gonna give it a little bit of a come back here. Okay. Grab yourself a knife, and we're going to cut this in half. So we're going to get 12 buns out of this. Cut it in half. Dun, 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 dun. And then half again. And then each of these little sections cut into 3, and you've got your 12 buns. Okay? And even shout, I can get the words out. And the ones on the end are always going to be little baby buns, but that's fine. That's my little chef's treat. So once you've cutting them out, I am going to just whack a little bit of flour into a tray like this, just so that they come out a bit easier. And then all you're going to do, I've got 2 baking trays, by the way, because they are going to grow again. fine if when you're cutting them they do get a bit misshapen. You can just pat them back into place, that's fine. Just don't need to cover these up, just let them sit there and be patient. Make yourself a cuppa, do whatever you want to do for about 45 minutes and we'll come back. I've preheated the oven to 170 degree if you've got a fan oven, 190 if you don't have a fan oven. And as you can see, they have grown really nicely. So we're going to put these in for 20 to 25 minutes. They took about 20 minutes for me because my oven does run quite hot. But just to show you these buns, eh? So I'm not sure what it's like everywhere else, but London has apparently run out of icing sugar completely. So I am not going to be able to ice all of these. I'm just going to show you. It's really, really simple. I've just got the icing sugar that I do have here. The last bit I could possibly find. I've been in about 10 shops in the last few days. So you should use 500 grams. Apparently that will do the trick. But I've got about 150. And then if you are doing this with children, I would advise you to do this bit yourself because you only need a little bit of water, and I just think it's a bit risky because this just disintegrates so quickly. So I use hot water from the kettle. You can use tap water, that's absolutely fine, but I just think that it's not as lumpy when you use warm water. So just add tiny bits at a time to your icing sugar and then just give it a good mix. You just want quite a thin, again, like that's almost enough already. So just little and often just to be definitely sure. So that is actually pretty good, even if I say so myself. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit more. There we go. That'll do. And if you want to make these really neat, you could use a piping bag or a sandwich bag with the corner cut off as if they are a piping bag, but I quite like these being a bit messy, slapdash. These were my absolute favourite thing as a kid. I used to pester my mum and dad to go into the cake shop constantly for a Belgian bun. Oh, which bun to use? I'm going to take this lovely little specimen here and I'm just going to drizzle it on the top, just like that. And just get a few little drizzles on there, and then you can just use the back of the spoon to just kind of, let me go with it here, to just sort of, you know, get it on. This is really good for kids to do. It doesn't have to be neat. Once you've done as many buns as you can do, you just want to use half a glace cherry and pop it on the top. A glace cherry. And there you have your Belgian bun. This is why I go running. Happy baking, everyone!